Hello and welcome back to the MMA Split Picks show ahead of the UFC Fight Night card, headlined by Arman Tsarukyan taking on Mateus Gamrot, as my mind went slightly blank there for a second after a long day of recording. Both guys are making their first headline in the UFC. Both guys have looked very impressive so far in the UFC. I think both only have one loss in the UFC so far. Pretty dominant aside from that. Obviously, Gamrot's loss coming to the very dangerous Guram Kutateladze, who we just discussed on our weekly podcast. And obviously, Arman Tsarukyan's only loss in the UFC, I believe, coming at the hands of Islam Makhachev.
Yeah.
So no disrespect there. This is going to be a grappler's delight, and we've got some other good fights dotted all the way through. No Sly with us today, but we have got his picks.
Real quick, because I'm going to forget. Kudos for Grappler's Delight. That was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're not wasted on me, friend.
Yay. I will take that. So we have Sly's picks, even though he's not with us in person, as he was not with us on the weekly podcast, because we now record it on the same day. That does not matter because we're still going to run through all the fights nice and tight for this week's episode. And straight away, Josh, talking about this main event, what are your thoughts and what's your pick?
Thought 1, Sly got more efficient at weaseling out things. Thought 2, this is a bloody coin toss. I mean, Arman Tsarukyan is criminally underrated and is such a problem for so many people in this division. But I kind of feel like everything he does well is more or less mirrored or nullified by everything that Mateus... is it Mateus or Mateus?
Mateus.
Mateus Gamrot does well. He is a Polish phenom. He's an absolute beast. Arman Tsarukyan is no fucking joke. But going backwards and forwards, I don't give a fuck what the betting line is. We've actually got it up on here. Tsarukyan, a minus 240 favourite. I think that is a foolish betting line. I think it should be more or less even. As I talk, Matt, I'm really just trying to buy time while I go to our WhatsApp chat to see what I've already committed to. Because even now, I don't feel strong either way.
Yeah, just to kind of echo your sentiments, really for me, the only difference between these two guys is, at least for me personally, is tape. There's more tape on Tsarukyan at the UFC level than there is on Gamrot. And that's the only reason that I've ended up edging my pick towards Tsarukyan, because the only guy that's been able to dominate him and beat him that I've seen in the UFC is a guy that could very well end up being the champion. And I still think Tsarukyan learned a lot from that experience and has improved from that fight.
And he was young back then as well.
Now, Gamrot, his loss is a bit more recent. Obviously, he lost to Guram, I think, in either 2020 or 2021.
Close fight.
Extremely close fight, and I think he's learned a lot from that. So they've both had this experience of coming up against a guy that's just a bit further ahead than they are right now, and learning from that, applying it, and then looking dominant pretty much since. I would say, though, I mean, what's Gamrot's big win in the UFC? He took out Jeremy Stephens. I don't know how focused Jeremy Stephens has been and how truly in he's been to trying to be a world champ for a few years.
Well, he's cheating on the scales now. We'll save that for a PFL catch-up that I think is a little overdue. That we'll bring in at some point, but
tie that in with the news segment that we've been teasing. That we're still trying to figure out the timing for.
I doubt that will happen this week.
I'm not expecting it this week, but we can do a PFL breakdown after all of the prelims and season games.
Yeah, we've got some more PFL this weekend. Maybe we'll have a think about doing an overall catch-up of the season so far at the halfway point.
We'll think about it, but really coming down to this, Tsarukyan just a bit more established, more fights at this level. I thought the Joel Alvarez fight was going to be a potentially tricky one for him, and
but it wasn't.
He just destroyed that guy. I'm not picking against him. I've gone Sarukian by TKO. I believe you went Sarukian by
I've
decision.
gone Sarukian decision.
And
I anticipate a close fight.
Sly is taking the flip. He has gone Gamrot by decision. It is close. You cannot knock him for that. Going to be a hell of a fight. Certainly a worthy main event. And cool to see both guys getting the headline slot. I always like that. Both guys getting a big opportunity.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, we're recording this on a Monday. I wouldn't be surprised if Gamrot's the favourite come Saturday. Or at the very least, this betting line will shift several times.
Agreed on that one. Moving down to our co-main event, Neil Magney is back. We love Neil Magney. Love the energy he brings. So well-rounded. He is taking on Shavkat Rakhmonov. He was crying out. He's been crying out for over a year and a half for the Khamzat fight. He doesn't get Khamzat. He gets Shavkat. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that is out of the frying pan into the fire. Because I'm saying it right now. I think that Shavkat is the true demon that is coming forward in this division. I think Hamzat is dangerous, but he will end up being the false pretender, and Shavkat's the guy that you really need to worry about. This is a horrible fight for Magney. I mean, balls for taking it. Fucking kudos to the guy, but
yeah,
I don't like this at all, man.
Look, I rate Neil Magney. I fucking rate Neil Magney. Neil Magney is a legit fucking problem for every welterweight in the world. This one for me was only a coin flip because I was like, does Neil Magney get finished or does he make it to the end of the 15 minutes? Rakhmonov is a fucking destroyer. He is a next level prodigy. He is right there in my eyes with Chimaev as like hottest prospects in the division. He's just a little bit behind. He's that second wave of like fresh blood coming in that's going to absolutely decimate the top five.
Here's the difference with Shavkat, though. We know that Chimaev, there's things he needs to clean up and polish up with his striking. I haven't seen that from Shavkat yet. On the feet, the guy looks as crisp and clean as anybody.
Yep, and he can
He
just
can
take you
grapple.
down, and he can just submit you. I mean, obviously, I haven't seen him against like top level grapplers yet, but I want to. I fucking need to. Like, prove me wrong, UFC. Give this guy and Neil Magny is a beast. Don't get me wrong, but Neil Magny is not going to present the offensive challenge that I think Rakhmonov needs to be tested in with the wrestling and the grappling. He is a survivor. He is durable. He finds ways to win in funky little moments. You know, he grinds on people. Shavkat Rakhmonov is going to fucking take the game to him. Neil Magny will not have the room to make it uncomfortable for Shavkat. This is a mismatch. But I need to see him against a real grappler. Sorry, go ahead.
You touched on a very good point there, and it's actually how I think this fight is going to go down. Is that Neil Magny is a survivor, but I think that's one of the things about him is you can put him into a certain type of survival mode if you can out pressure him, and I kind of feel that's going to be what ends up happening here. The more I talk about this, the more I think that this may be a decision win for Shavkat, but I've gone TKO because I think
it's a coin flip, Matt.
He's just got that finishing element to him. But I don't see Magny winning this fight. I think if he might survive it, but I think that's going to be part of the problem. I think there will be a point in the fight where he just goes into full defense mode.
Maybe Sly's gone Shavkat KO with you. And I'm taking Shavkat Rakhmonov by decision.
All of us pretty similarly aligned. And it's going to be a hell of a co-main event. We're going to learn a lot about an up-and-comer. And I'm excited about that. Moving on, we got some heavyweights. We got some big heavyweights. We got some low-ranking heavyweights. We have got Josh Parisian taking on Alan Bordeaux. I was very curious to see if anybody was willing to go for Parisian on this one. I think we've all gone Bordeaux.
It's hard to pick guys that lose to Parker Porter.
You really don't like Parker Porter?
I'm just saying. his record fucking flatters him, and it was fucking people like Alan Bordeaux and Josh Parisian um, propping up said record. Thanks, fellas. Anyway,
Yeah.
both have disappointed me at various stages in their UFC career. It's cool though. I'm not spiteful. I'm all about what you've done for me lately. I'm willing to look forward. I think that this might be fun because it's heavyweight, and that's what heavyweight means. So I picked Alan Bordeaux by KO, but again, coin flip because I didn't want to pick either.
Yeah. Sly has joined you on that Bordeaux KO. I have gone Bordeaux decision. This is not the fight that I'm looking forward to on the card. Hopefully, we're proven wrong. On to some fun fights. We've got Tiago Moises coming back against Christos
Do you know what?
Giagos.
I just got to bring it up because there's a visual element to this, albeit somewhat subpar. I didn't even remember to click onto the Josh Parisian Alan Bordeaux slide. I'm putting it up there right now very briefly for you. And there we go. We've moved on already because we don't give a fuck. Carry on, Matt.
Okay. On to Tiago Moises, taking on Christos Giagos. Moises, there's so much to like about this guy. He's had a couple of slips recently. Obviously, the Makachev fight was tough. Then Joel Alvarez, that's a fucking tough out if you can't get the guy down. I think this is a good bounce back fight for him. If I'm honest, I think that's why they've given him Giagos, and I fully expect Moises to show that he is a really good fighter in this division, and I'm expecting him to bounce back. I have picked him to do that via decision, though.
It's a safe choice. I've gone decision as well. All the same reasons. Giagos is a good competitor. This is a reasonable opponent. Moises has got a decent advantage. Not advantage. I don't know. The betting odds very much favouring Moises right now, but again, that's another one that really shouldn't be as distant as it is. I wouldn't say near even, but this is going to be a tough one for him. Still,
Yeah, so tough that
picking
Sly's
Moises by
actually gone
decision.
for. So tough that Sly's actually gone for Giagos by decision himself. So we're getting a little bit of separation.
That's fair enough.
On to the bantamweights, tough as ever, always up for a fight. Nathan Manus is up against Umar Nurmagomedov, 14-0. Certainly doesn't fight like the other Nurmagomedovs. Super exciting striker. I think Umar is going to knock out Nathan Manus, who is very tough, has certainly pulled off some good comebacks. I don't think he's going to have that opportunity. I think once he's hurt, he's not going to recover.
Yeah, Manus can wrestle. He has got some stand up. I think Nurmagomedov's gonna have the advantage everywhere. I'm just banking on Manus being a little too tough to finish. I'm saying brother cousin gets it done by decision.
We've actually all gone for the same guy, but different methods. So you've gone decision. I've gone Umar by TKO. Sly has gone Umar by sub.
To be fair, even though he is the kickboxing Nurmagomedov, he does kickbox people down to the ground
And
and
then
then
sub
choke
them.
them out. So like, it's not what his style dictates, but historically, it is exactly what his style dictates. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually thought that was a solid pick from Sly when I saw that. I'm just thinking maybe he just ground and pounds,
Well,
but I
yeah,
could see
like the
it.
weird shit can't last forever, right? Eventually, someone just gets knocked the fuck out.
This is true. This is true. All right, let's move down to the opening fight of the card. What a fun fight this is. The return of the surprising everyone, Chris Curtis, taking on the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu legend, Rodolfo Vieira, who obviously had a slip up against Fluffy Hernandez, came back looking really good on the feet and much better with the cardio in his fight afterwards against, who did he fight? Was it Stoltz or
Ah, I can't remember. Don't make
I
me
will
look it
tell
up
you. I will tell
because
you. He fought
I've done a bad enough job keeping up with the
Dustin
slides.
Stoltzfus. Dustin Stoltzfus.
That was it.
Chris Curtis has been an underdog in two fights. We thought in both
For
of
good
those
reason.
fights he should be at welterweight. Both of those fights, it looked for a good period of time like he was getting his ass kicked. But man, this guy can strike and he can throw to the body nice. He can hurt up top. And he's knocked out Phil Hawes and Brendan Allen, who are both awesome fighters. And it's for this reason that I am going different from you guys. And I'm believing that we're going to make it 3 out of 3 underdog wins in a division he should not be fighting in for the action man Chris Curtis, because fuck me, that guy has got some magic in his hands.
Yeah, shit, he might even be older than Rodolfo. What surprised me, everywhere I looked, Chris Curtis is a favourite on the betting line. I did not think anyone else was going to go with Rodolfo on this one. I thought this was going to be my little, out on my own. This is where I get that 2-point swing across against both of you, but not to be. Sly follows me in. I'm going Vieira by submission.
Same as Sly. On to the prelims. Carlos Ulberg taking on Tafin and Chukwi. We'll run through these a bit more quickly. I have said Ulberg via TKO.
Sly said TKO. Josh said we might as well carpool because we're all going in the same direction. Ulberg by TKO.
As well. Featherweight, Shah Yolan taking on TJ Brown. I am going for Shah Yolan on this one. I think I said by decision. I think you guys have both flipped the other way.
I've gone Brown decision, and I think Sly, let me just check. Brown by submission.
Ruhulian Piva taking on Sergey Morozov. I have gone Piva by decision. I think he's going to bounce back after the O'Malley loss.
Couldn't agree more. We understand where Piva's level is. I think he probably is a little too much to handle for Morozov. Piva by decision.
Sly is gone the reverse. He's going Morozov KO. JP Buys taking on Cody Durden. Man, neither of these guys have had the best recent period of time. JP Buys had a rough time in the cage, and his wife left him. So that sucks. I think
she didn't follow him home, bitch.
She didn't follow him home, and now she's shagging a different, much larger MMA fighter. So that's a tough pill to swallow. Cody Durden, I think, wins this. I think he wins this by TKO because I don't think that JP Buys has got much of a chin. But I could also see him be putting on his back for the fight. I could see this flipping the other way.
Yeah, I think JP is a lot better at flyweight. Still, I'm going Durden by decision, even though I dislike Durden. I think last week was a bad day for the bad guys. This week could be a good day for the bad guys. That's how it works. Alternates.
True.
And it rains Sly went Cody as well.
Yeah, Sly match just on this one. 2 more fights to go. Brian Boone Keller is back, taking on the extremely dangerous Mario Batista. I am not confident on my pick at all on this one, but Brian Kelleher only really loses to very, very good fighters. And Batista might be that guy, but I've got a bit of faith in Boom to get the sub on this one.
Yeah, Batista is that guy. All that said, theme of the night, coin flip. I went Bautista decision.
Sly went Bautista KO. And then I think we are all aligned on the first fight because Jinyu Fry is taking on Vanessa Demopoulos. Demopoulos, really good win last time out, getting the armbar against Silvana Gomez Juarez. She was dropped badly in that fight, but we've also seen her on the Contender Series lose. And Jinyu Fry, after a bit of a rocky start to her UFC career, she started to put some wins together. Has already fought a couple of girls that like to grapple and like to try and win with arm bars, and she beat them. So I think she's going to do it again by decision.
Yep, Jinyu Fry decision. Nice and easy one. Don't really Ray Little Monster. Also, that's an awful name.
Sly's matched on us by method and fighter as well.
Oh, I should have done the line. Didn't do the line. What can you do?
So we got some separations on these ones. We definitely have gone in some different directions.
You and Sly have.
No, you and me. We're separate on I think about 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, what I mean is usually there's a few picks that I own by myself. This week, though, everything is covered by either you or Sly.
Well, there's only so many options. There's only two fighters to pick from and three available methods. So there will be crossover, and there will be a lack of non-crossover at different points. Am I excited about this card in the same way I was excited about UFC Austin? Probably not, but the UFC has a tendency to go on some rolls, and this fight leading into UFC 276, which is going to be fantastic. Dos Anjos versus Fiziev after that. Then we've got Ortega Rodriguez, Blades Aspinall in London, UFC 277 after that. It is week after week of pretty damn decent cards and good fights. So I'm excited. I'm 1-0 up in the picks. Long may that continue. And as always, guys,
Obviously, you can't continue at 1-0.
the winning streak, not the score.
Ah,
Uh,
egg on your face. I think
as always, guys,
Bananarama said it best, Matt. It's going to be a cool summer. That is what they said. Oh, it's what they fucking meant, though.
oh, no arguments with that. I don't know much about Bananarama, so I will not argue with you. Guys, if you want to leave your own comments, leave your own picks in the comment section, please feel free to. If you beat any of us on the main card, we'll give you a shout out on next week's podcast. We hope you enjoy the fights. Hit a like on the video.
If you beat Sly on Sly's picks, he will Venmo you €5.
Sly will not do that. He is not committed to doing that.
He messaged me privately saying that he would do that.
He will not do that. He will certainly not do that. That is not a promise. But we
you
still
have
hope you
you
enjoy the
have to
content.
be subscribed, and you have to.
Thanks for watching, guys.
verify
Bye,
that.
Dave. Bye, Laurie. Bye,
Bye,
Trufo.
Laurie. Bye, Dave.